Welcome, dear listeners, to the Being Connected podcast, the place where you go to explore the journey of being human, being in the world, and your spiritual being. I am your host, Anamia, and in today's episode, I'm going to dive into overcoming fear and anxiety and how this came into my radar or into my sphere is I do hear a lot of people, both young people and also adults, that are having and struggling a lot with the way they live their life, the way they, I say, quote unquote, have to work, how they, quote unquote, have to earn money, and the kind of, when you wake up in the morning, you don't want to be here, you don't want to go to work, you cannot feel your higher purpose, you cannot feel that, oh my God, I'm so excited, I want to go to work today, I have great colleagues, the work is meaningful to me. And I think that a lot of this has to do with you feeling stuck in your life. Maybe it has also something to do with your surroundings. So if you are, let's say, a young person and you live at home with your parents and your parents is living one type of life, maybe they get up at 6 in the morning and they go to work at 8 and then they're back at 4 or 5 and they do this Monday to Friday. They have done it for years and they are continuing to doing this for years. And maybe this is not your dream. Maybe you can tell that you have to be inspired when you go to work. You have to feel that what you do in the world has some sort of print. When you get up in the morning and you go to your line of work, that it makes sense to you, that it puts a smile on your face. And for sure, there will always be jobs where there are aspects of the job that you maybe not are going to love, but they're just a part of getting to the bigger project in the work, which is something that really aligns with your purpose and your being in the world. For me as a manifestor, this totally resonates with me, and this is also why I wanted to do this episode for you. I am not a person who fits in society's box of how you are supposed to be an adult in the world. I am not that adult for you. I also meet adults are asking me or sometimes confronting me, sometimes being super condescending. Is that really a job? Can you call that work? Do you make a lot of money doing that work? I think that let's just rewind it, and then I want to ask, is that really the question that you are looking for? So when you go up and you do your job because of the money, if that's a thing, I don't think that you're in the right place right now. So if this resonates with you, let's dive into this. If you, and without wanting to sound corny, I just want to remind you that if you really, really love your job, if it fills you up every day, and yes, there can be mornings you're tired, but if your job really aligns with what you think is your purpose in the world, it doesn't feel like work and you still get paid, you know? So whether you hate your job or you love your job, you're still gonna get paid. So why choose a job that you hate? Why would you want to wake up every morning wanting to die? Why would we do that? You have your free will as a human, as an adult, as a young person. You are in a position where you can choose what you want to do in the world. People have been asking them since the 8th grade, what are you going to be when you grow up? And if you're a young person listening to this, I just want to remind you that, you know what? Many adults do not work within their education at this point in time. So are they really in a position to give you advice on you should do this, you should do this, you should do this? Because is it really them who's being fearful, and then it projects onto you, and now you feel that you are not allowed to go out and feel, what is my purpose? What do I want to do in life? If you are a manifester like me, you will know that will change throughout your life. So yes, I have been 25 years in nails and makeup in the beauty industry, but in those 25 years, I have done everything from Hollywood artists, celebrity people, theater, movies, commercials, bride, everything from within there. And then I've been teaching a lot. So teaching others how to build a business and how to get the techniques right around makeup and nails. But I have changed it through the 25 years. So for me, I have to shift, because when I feel like I am quote unquote done with a section, or my life changed when I had my daughter 20 years ago. So I couldn't be out as much. I couldn't do all the movies anymore because I had to be home with my baby. So when that changed, I did a salon. And when we are adaptable in the line of work that we chose, I can change and adapt around how I'm gonna live my life. So if you are a young person, I really want you to think hard about what I'm saying right now. If you love what you do, you will never work a single day in your life. And I know that this sounds fluffy, but hear me out. Think about the number one step to do now is, what kind of life do I want for myself? What kind of lifestyle do I want? What is it really you want? Do you want a job where you can perhaps work from home 3 days a week and then go to the office 2 days a week? What about working part-time? If you do not need to have a huge house down by the waterfront, and maybe you do not need a huge car, which is super expensive, maybe you want to travel more. Can you see where I'm getting at? If you know what kind of lifestyle you want, it's easier to see, okay, what type of job fits into this description. If you, like me, want to do different jobs and work different areas throughout your life, just know that this is who you are and it's your life. You do not have to do what your parents say or your spouse say or anybody else. This is your life. They did a survey on people who were on their deathbed, and they were asking them, what do you regret the most in life? And do you know what they said? I regret that I didn't even try. I didn't even try because I was worried what others might think of me. When you are on your deathbed, nobody is thinking about you. For sure, the people around you, yeah? Who is it that is gonna think what you do? Let people talk. When it comes down to the end of the day, when you go to bed, who's there? You, right? Yes. If you are the person at night going to bed in your bed, make sure that you're happy, that you feel fulfilled, that you are living the life or working towards a life that you want. Where is my starting point? Let's do this, right? Pull out your pen and paper and let's write, what is my starting point? Okay, maybe I'm living at home with my parents still. I do have a job and it doesn't suit me at all. I am bothered. I get into arguments with my parents because they think I'm lazy. And in real life, I just feel super stuck and I'm doing it for the money. Just know that. What is your starting point? Could that be removing yourself from the nagging of your parents, or you don't feel that there is room for you in the world? There is room for you in the world, but you have to take it. This is the only commitment you have to promise yourself, is that if you want space, you have to take it or create it, and you can do that. You are able to create that space and live in it. You can do that. It's your choice. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I'm saying it is possible and it's super doable as well. You can do this. So maybe you have to work in this job you have at the moment, and maybe it doesn't satisfy you every day. But if this job gives you some money, you can save some money here, and then you can go out and rent yourself into an apartment with other young people. The thing for most young people is that they compare themselves to others. And maybe you see another young person and they have a car, they have a dog, they have parents that are super rich, they have an apartment, and the parents just pay for everything, but you're not in that position. Well, you are not alone in that. But you know what? When you are validating yourself, knowing that you want to create a space that you can live in and be happy for the rest of your life, do that. Do not look at anybody else. Look at you. This is your conditions right now. Great. Maybe you have to work that job that you really don't like right now. Say, okay, I'm gonna give it 6 months. And in those 6 months, I'm gonna work my beep off. Save up a lot of money. Put down my expenses on living. Don't buy that car. Don't go out drinking every weekend. Don't buy all that clothes. Make sure that you prioritize what is important right now. Yes, maybe you have to give it 6 months at that job you do not like so that you can save up some money and you can remove yourself from your parents' house. That is number 1. Step 2, if you do not know what you need, what is your purpose in life? What kind of job do you want to do? Maybe there's nothing when you go through it in the mind that you can tell, wow, this sounds super interesting. I have to tell you, this is totally normal. I hear this from so many people, you will not believe it. Yeah, but I don't feel like it. No, but are you exploring it? The second thing you need to do here is do not sit down and be overwhelmed by this huge feeling and the Cinderella fairy comes in and say, you are a makeup artist, yes, go. You can tell that your hormones are bubbling over. Life is not like that, but you have to get up and try things. If you do not try things, you will never know how that makes you feel. If you don't know what that is, maybe you can try and get a part-time job somewhere. And maybe you weren't thinking that was the type of job for you, but if you haven't tried it, you don't know. I think for many young people, also adults, if you want to change your career or get a new career or just build your career, you are searching for that specific title. What is the title of that job that I need? Because when I know what title it is, I can go and get educated for this. And that's true, you can. But if you feel unstuck, overwhelmed, You are fearful of trying something else. You feel bullied all the time of your surroundings and you feel super stuck. Try something. Get 3 part-time jobs and do different stuff. You're not going to stay there for life. And no matter what you do, you will get paid for the job that you do, right? You will still get some money you can put aside for your dream life and for getting out of the first position of moving out from your parents' house. Knowing that you have to put yourself in motion. You have to try different stuff. Maybe it's not going to get you paid a lot. Maybe you don't have a pension. Maybe you don't have health care. But it doesn't matter if you're going to be there for 1 month to try it out. Try it out. See what this is for you. Does it feel like something you want to do? Because what this exercise is for is when you try and do something else, do something different, you will know that the first step you take might not be the magic Cinderella fairy step. No, but that first step is going to lead you to the next step. Who's going to lead you to the next step? Which is going to lead you, guess what, to the next step. When you feel stuck, overwhelmed, you feel anxiety, to change that feeling, you have to put yourself in motion. Because when you move and put yourself in motion, you change your hormones and you get into more knowledge. And at the moment, what you're lacking is knowledge. You don't know what you want to do. You don't know what you like. You just know that you don't fit. All the stories that you tell yourself. When you put yourself in motion, you will get more knowledge. Remember, for every time you try something, you learn something. When you try a job and it's not for you and you quit it, that's not failing. That's learning. That was not for me. Move on to the next. Take the next step. Move. Create the motion because it gives you knowledge. And the more you can do this, the more you get to the finish line. Remember, that finish line will often change. It wasn't in the card that I was going to do nails for so many years. And it was just a part of my creation and a part of my movement. I was into makeup. I'm an educated dancer. I was in college in United Kingdom. And everything was evolving about performing arts. And of course, the makeup and also the nails, because when you perform on a stage, it's a lot to do with impression and how you appear on the stage. That really propelled me into makeup. I started to do my own nails. And when I got back to Denmark, I really wanted to get an education to becoming a makeup artist. When I got educated all those years ago, I did a full year, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. They made us in a whole nother different way than you do today. Then at this school I was at, then the owner of the school, she called me after I got my education there and I was out working. She called me up and said, "Oh, Anna-Mia, you always have pretty nails." Yes, thank you. I just changed my polish and I did that every day. Back in the days, the polish was really bad. If you are my age, you know that for a fact that doing your nails with polish is almost doomed to fail 25 years ago. So she called me up and said, "Will you come and teach nails for students in my school?" This was a breadcrumb, right? That really was only there because of the action I took and the steps I took. Somebody noticed that and offered me a job, and I said, "I have no knowledge about how you do nails, so I need to get educated." And she said, "Sure, I will give you whatever education you think that you need to get into teaching." And then I did that, and I was working for her for 10 years. The first 4 years I did one system, and then I changed into something called Creative Nail Design, CND, became an education ambassador for this product in Denmark. And that just made everything evolve. But when I started out going to England as an 18-year-old, actually starting at College of Arts, the vibe in that college, I could tell the energy was not for me. And I changed. Then I went to the Performing Arts College in another city, and I took this education in dancing. And what is really good when you move, you actually do change your hormones in the body. So even though you don't feel like it, or you are not in a position where you can think your way out of your situation, by moving, you will change your hormones in the body. That is physical. Don't think that you can sit down and think how your life is gonna be. You can think on how you would like your life to be, but you have to connect it with some sort of action, because that movement brings you into knowing more, getting more knowledge and information on the path that will lead you there. What is even more important, and many adults are not very good at, is that it has to be some sort of fixed plan. My daughter is turning 20 in May, and the question she gets, what are you going to study? Are you going to university? What education should you have? You are gonna get an education, aren't you? In Denmark, we have this saying that you can have 1 year or two when you just save up some money. Maybe you work, you go travel, you go to schools for other young people where you can connect about something creative. But it's not really seen as something that you can do in life. It's seen as something silly, and you can do it for a year or two, and then you have to go back to school so you can become somebody, right? I think it's great if your kid wants to go, or if you are that young person going to university, that's great, because you should always do what you want to do. But if you are not in that category where you are studying the next semester on university because it doesn't resonate with you, I just want to say that there are an endless world to the possibilities of what you can create and what life that you can get. But you need to either remove yourself from parents saying you have to be like this, you have to do like this. Society says that you have to do like this, or you can have connections or relationships putting you down because you don't know what you're gonna do. And an answer you can use there is, you know what, I'm just taking a moment to find myself in my new life. That could be an affirmation you tell yourself every day, also to create some space. And yes, you need money to do this. If you are working a shitty job, make sure that the money you earn at that shitty job that you don't like and you hate every day, make sure that you have all the money from that to go and create something new. If you need help with outlining some of these thoughts, you can sign up to my newsletter. That's totally free. And you get the New Future You worksheet. It's a PDF and you get it right away when you sign up. In there you have a workbook and there are questions in there. Get out pen and paper and then you start answering all these questions that are in there. I'm just here to say the world is changing. You do not have to be a work ant in the world just because your parents are good at it. If you are a manifester, this resonates with you, you need to do something else. By design, you are not made to be like our generators who work 8 to 4, 5 days a week, the whole life. If you are a projector, you will not be very prone to working 40-hour work weeks. So maybe working 30 hours is better for you because projectors need to rest more. It doesn't mean that they're lazy. They just do it in another way. So by knowing your design, it's easier for you to know, I cannot be like my parents because I am not like my parents. And you're not. You're you. And you are amazing. Just because you don't fit the box, you have to create your box. I hope that it makes sense that you have to be more focused on what lifestyle you want to live. You want to know what life you want. We are in 2025 and the world is changing. I think that it's going to be a little worse before it gets better. There has not been a single type of revolution in the world that hasn't been worse before it was good. When something gets worse, you for sure know what you do not want. And that can put you into a mindset of, okay, so what do I want? Do not be fearful, and do not be fearful in the world, but also don't be fearful in your own life, because every time you learn something, it's learning. Every time you try something new, you're learning. Never failing, learning. The more often you do that, the more you learn. And for every time you get more knowledge. And then one day, boom, there it is. I know what I'm going to do right now. Then you will find that you do have the energy and the ability to just push and push effortlessly. Because this is never going to be hard, because when you find something that drives you and it supports your lifestyle, you are right where you're supposed to be. Know that at this moment, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling stuck in your life, the uncertainty and discouraging. And I get that. But no revolution came without some difficulties. You are at the moment feeling all these things, but you are still right where you're supposed to be. Remember that. You are not in a fail position, but maybe you have reached your bottom. And that's a good thing, my friend. It's a good thing. I root for you. I clap my hands. Because when you are in your darkest hour, you are in the position to make new choices. That's it for today. If this episode really resonated with you and you know another young person or an adult who needs to hear this, you are free to share. I really hope that you follow and subscribe to this content. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. If you want something else, you have to choose it, put it into movement, get your brain coherence and your heart coherence going. When these two are together, you will start to evolve and taking it step by step. I root for you. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Being Connected podcast. Feel free to share it with somebody who you think needs it. Stay connected, stay curious, stay focused on what matters to you.